It's hard to start this video off because it's been nearly a decade since we've had a continuation of the story. But I know there's a lot of faithful people out there that have been longing and waiting for Bleach's return. And of course, in 2022, we got that return of Bleach, at least the first core of it. However, I know you can't ignore the fact that there's 300 episodes. So let's say you don't want to go through those 300 episodes and you want to start brand new. So the question becomes, is Bleach the 1,000-Year Blood War worth your time? So I'll answer that question at the beginning half of this video, but the second half is going to be spoilers for everybody else. Also, this will only go for the 300 episodes that you have not seen or have seen, as well as the first core of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get started. Now to begin, I'm just going to assume that you have not seen Bleach, therefore you clicked on this video. If you have not seen Bleach, I want to give you a very quick synopsis of this. Basically, within these 300 episodes, you have characters that are called Soul Reapers. These characters are meant to maintain order by sending the lost souls to the afterlife or slaying monsters. Within this show, you'll follow this orange-haired protagonist called Ichigo Kurosaki, who isn't a Soul Reaper. Instead, throughout the whole show, he will call himself a Soul Reaper because he isn't really one of them. He's really a human. But you will follow this character going through his journey fighting higher level monsters, which we will soon refer to them as hollows. Of course, there are plenty of other characters in the show that help Ichigo progress in his journey by making him stronger, learning new techniques, etc. So if you're asking me if this is Chainsaw Man or Naruto or Fullmetal Alchemist or any other shonen in the world, then yes. But if you liked any of those I just mentioned, including any other shonen, then you will like this show. Now, do you need to watch the other 300 and some episodes to know what's going on? The answer to that question is no, but you sure do want to. There are plenty of callbacks and references that the current show will not tell you. So honestly, for new viewers trying to get into the 1,000-Year Blood War is a bit disappointing, but hey champ, you're a smart kid, you'll catch on. Now here we're going to jump into the spoiler warning because I want to talk about the first core of the 1,000-Year Blood War. Therefore, if you care about spoilers, please hop off now and come back to this video later on. Alright, now then. We won, boys! At the time I'm currently recording this video, the final episode just aired, which is called The Blade Is Me. And before we jump into that perfection, I want to talk about from beginning to end what happened in the first core. So if you remember when the first episode aired, that was back when Eburn showed up. He was the Quincy that got rocked before he even pulled out his weapon. Now unfortunately, Eburn did not become anything special, however he was the introduction to the Quincy's. And as you know, the Quincy army is full of plenty of high-level Stern Raiders that can get rid of you whenever they want. So the first one we were introduced to was Kurge, or Quilge, whatever you want to call him. This was the first Quincy we saw that had a letter, which was J, the jail. Now as we all can tell, these Quincy's are not like Uryu Quincy's. Unlike Uryu at the current time, they're all given a letter from their majesty Yhwach, and that means they all have a special unique power about them. Now Kurge's special ability was the jail, which was meant to just put somebody in a jail, but he also had another ability which would absorb any kind of reishi around him, which he would absorb. Now Kurge was kind of that guy when we first saw him, until we saw the invasion. While Ichigo was fighting Kurge, the whole Serite was invaded by the Quincy army. Now only a select few Stern Raiders were sent out to this invasion, and it could have been even less than 10 Stern Raiders overall. But during all of these fights, we found out what they could do, which Eburn could not. And that's steal a Bankai from a Soul Reaper. Now, technically speaking, this is just cheating, taking away another character's trump card, but all's fair in love and war. They're not here to make friends. And of course, many people's favorite characters either have their Bankai stolen or they're put down in the dirt. Specifically Byakuya, they did that man dirty. However, during this invasion, we did get a couple of anticipated moments. The first one is a fight between head captain Yamamoto and Yhwach. Now we got to see the Bankai of Yamamoto, which I won't spoil too much here, but he did prove that his Bankai is unrivaled by any other captains. But unfortunately, this did not end well in his favor. What makes it even worse is that he wasn't fighting Yhwach majority of the time. However, putting that aside, once the Golden Child shows up, he at least puts up a better fight, at least for the couple of seconds he lasted. But both the Yamamoto fight and the Ichigo fight were fan pleasers altogether. There are a couple more anticipated events that fans loved to see. The fight between Zaraki and Unohana showed Unohana's Bankai for the first time. And while we didn't get an exact explanation of what it does, at least we have a better assumption of what it is doing. Another is being introduced to Squad Zero. Now this is basically another set of captains that are supposed to be stronger than the captains we already know. know, but unfortunately we won't actually see that until a future core. To wrap up everything, we got to see the final part of Ichigo Kurosaki. I'm talking about who his mother is, what happened to her, where he got his powers from. So if you are a big Bleach fan, you probably want to see the end of this core because Ichigo is an anomaly. Without giving you a direct answer of what's in these episodes, the best way I can explain it is he's not really a Soul Reaper. But as we get more parts to the 1,000-Year Blood War, I guarantee I will talk about this a lot more in the future. So overall, this was hot. Many people were scared of how Bleach was going to look because of Cloverworks. This studio is not Studio Mappa or Ufotable, so sometimes it's a little bit iffy. And what made it even worse was that Chainsaw Man was airing at the exact same time through Mappa. Without comparing them one-to-one, I think Cloverworks did an amazing job with the return of Bleach. The actual art of the show looks phenomenal, and there are small times the animation could be up a little bit better, but I won't be nitpicky here. I'm glad we got Bleach at all. So the question of this video is Bleach worth it? As I have mentioned before, this series is more than 300 episodes. Now while it doesn't even touch a Goliath like One Piece, it's still a lot of episodes. And even if I took out the filler episodes so you didn't have to see that, it's still a lot. So is it worth your time to watch those 300 episodes of Bleach? Probably not. Now listen, I love Bleach and I personally would say you should. However, for your own time investment, it's probably not worth it. But again, for anyone that doesn't need the previous story, you should watch 1,000-Year Blood War. And honestly, you can get a grasp of what's going on through these black and white and pink flashback moments. But one thing I really want to give Bleach is I really do love the protagonist. It's just something about Ichigo that slaps different. So if you are about to watch Bleach or have seen Bleach, tell me what you think about the series in the comments down below. If you want more anime videos, subscribe to the channel and also go support me on my Patreon. I really appreciate it. With that, I love y'all. Y'all have a good one. Take care. See you next video.